Christians who say you cannot be a Christian and a Democrat at the same time. I have seen a number of Christians who say you cannot be a Christian and a Democrat at the same time. I have seen a number of Christians who say you cannot be a Christian and a Democrat at the same time. They say they are Republicans. Apparently, being a Republican is more acceptable to God. As far as I am concerned, the left and right wing belong to the same bird. Both parties do things that are not in line with God. A lot of Republicans seem to often be against welfare programs that help the poor. They will come up with all kinds of excuses as to why we should not help the poor and needy. They complained about welfare queens. I have yet to meet a welfare queen sitting on her throne in any poor neighborhood I am aware of. They are even saying that the church is supposed to help the poor and not the government. I fail to see why it has to be one or the other. I am going to go out on a limb and say that I do not think Jesus will be upset because the government is helping the poor and needy. In fact, the Bible seems to indicate that helping the poor and needy is a good thing. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done. Proverbs 19:17. The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. Proverbs 22:9. Those who give to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to them receive many curses. Proverbs 28:27. Whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker, but he who is generous to the needy honors him. The funny thing is, while Republicans seem so against welfare for the poor, they are fine with corporate welfare. A few may speak out against it, but the majority have no problems with making the rich richer while telling the poor to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Is the party of Jesus supposed to favor the rich over the poor? Why give to people who have so much while complaining about giving to the poor? Corporate welfare generally involves government assistance to private businesses or industries to promote economic growth, job creation, or other public benefits. This support can take many forms, including tax credits, tax deductions, tax exemptions, government contracts, preferential regulatory treatment, debt write-offs, low-interest loans, loan guarantees, direct subsidies, or public grants. Some definitions focus specifically on direct subsidies to major corporations, excluding tax advantages or other favorable policies. The Bible even says to give to the poor and not the wealthy. Many people give to the wealthy to get favors from them. In some cases, corporate welfare does lead to this. Proverbs 22:16 warns that whoever gives gifts to the rich to buy favor or status, and whoever oppresses the poor will both end up in poverty. I always hear from the so-called party of Jesus about how poor people are gaming the system in terms of welfare benefits, but it's strange how these same people do not seem to be as concerned about these wealthy corporations and fat cats gaming the corporate welfare system. We have been taught to look down on the poor getting a handout, but wealthy fat cats getting welfare is not a problem at all. Critics argue that corporate welfare can be a form of socialism for the rich, where the wealthy and powerful benefit from public funds while ordinary citizens face higher taxes or reduced services. This selective aid can be seen as a grift because it exploits the system for private gain rather than genuine public benefit. I guess you need to be rich to get welfare. The Bible is replete with commands to care for the poor and needy. The Republican platform often emphasizes limited government intervention and personal responsibility. This includes advocating for reduced spending on social programs such as welfare, food stamps, and Medicaid. While personal responsibility is a valued principle, the reduction in social support can negatively impact the poor and vulnerable. Jesus' ministry was marked by healing the sick, and he instructed his followers to do the same. Matthew 10:8. The Republican platform often emphasizes strict immigration policies, border security, and deportation of undocumented immigrants. While maintaining secure borders is important, a lack of compassion and support for immigrants can contradict biblical teachings on loving and caring for foreigners. The Bible repeatedly instructs believers to welcome and care for foreigners. Leviticus 19:34 says, "The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt." Jesus' parable of the Good Samaritan also teaches compassion toward those who are different or marginalized. While there are areas where the Republican platform aligns with biblical teachings, particularly on issues such as the sanctity of life and religious freedom, there are significant areas of divergence. Jesus' teachings on wealth, power, and the care for the poor and needy stand in contrast to some Republican policies, particularly those related to social programs, healthcare, and immigration. Every time I turn around, they are trying to cut food stamps and other programs that help the needy and less fortunate while giving more money to wealthy corporations. Yeah, I do not think this is what Jesus has in mind. Neither party is the party of Jesus or in alignment with Jesus Christ, in my opinion.